Hello everybody, today we're going over Packet Tracer Lab 10.1.4. It is called Configure Initial Router Settings. The background reads, in this activity you will perform basic router configuration tasks. You will secure access to the CLI, that's the command line interface, and console port using encrypted and plain text passwords. You will also configure messages for your users who are logging into the router. These banners warn unauthorized users that access is prohibited. Finally, you will verify and save your running configuration. So come along and do this lab with us. It does keep score, so we'll get you to 100%. In part 1 of this lab, we're going to verify the default router configuration, beginning with establishing a console connection to router 1. Here are all the instructions. Start by choosing a console cable from the available connections. So you click on the lightning bolt down here where the connections are. The console cable, as you can see beneath it here, when you hover over the light blue one, that is the console cable. Click on that, and then as you move your cursor over to the screen, you can see that it turns into a cable. So it says click PCA and select RS232. That's step B. So we'll click that. And now we move over to router 1, and you can see we've got our cable connected. We're going to click on router 1 and select console. That's the console port. And you can see we moved to 20% completion already. Click PCA and then the desktop tab and terminal. And we're going to click OK because these settings are typically fine the way they are. And now we're ready to configure the router. So let's move on to step 2. For step 2, we're going to enter privilege mode and examine the current configuration. You can access all the router commands from privileged exec mode. However, because many of the privileged commands configure operating parameters, privileged access should be password protected to prevent unauthorized use. So let's work on that. Here are the steps for step 2. Part A, enter privilege exec mode by entering the enable command. So down here on our screen, it says to hit return to get started. So let's type return, and we've got our prompt here that says router. We need to type enable to get into privileged exec mode. Notice that the prompt changes from a greater than sign to a hashtag. And now we want to enter the command show running-config. Now from this command, we can see a lot of things about what our router is currently configured with. As you see here, one of the questions is, what is the router's host name? And it's right here in the middle, host name router. How many fast Ethernet interfaces does the router have? Well, we can see more by hitting the space bar. I don't see anything about that here yet. So let's click the space bar and see if we see anything about fast Ethernet. We've got interface gigabit Ethernet. We've got 2 serial interfaces. And now we start with the fast Ethernet. Let's hit the space bar again. How many fast Ethernet interfaces do we have? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them listed. How many gigabit Ethernet interfaces does the router have? Well, let's move up a little bit, and you can see that there are 2 of them right here. How many serial interfaces? Those are right here. 2 serial interfaces. What is the range of values shown for the VTY lines? Well, let's go down here and see if we see anything that says VTY. Not yet. Hit the space bar again, and you can see line VTY 0 through 4 is the range. Part C, display the current contents of NVRAM. So let's hit the space bar again to get back to our prompt. And let's type that command, show startup-config. It says startup config is not present. Why does the router respond this way? That is because the configuration has not been saved yet to NVRAM. Currently, it's only located in RAM. All right, let's move on to part 2. Configure and verify the initial router configuration. To configure parameters on a router, you may be required to move between various configuration modes. Notice how the prompt changes as you navigate through the iOS configuration modes. So let's look at step 1. We're going to configure initial settings on this router. It says, note, if you have difficulty remembering the commands, refer to the content for this topic. The commands are the same as you configured on a switch. So let's configure router 1 as the host name. So first step here, to configure router 1 as the host name, we need to get into config mode. So config T is the shortcut for config mode, configure terminal. Hit enter. And now we're in config mode. You can see it in the prompt and how it's changed. And then we type the command hostname space, and they wanted to name the host R1, capital R1. Make sure you do it exactly as it says. Hit enter, and you can see we've reached 30%. Make sure that you're there. The next command is to configure the message of the day text. We want to say unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. To do that, the command is banner MOTD for message of the day. And then I like to put it in quotation marks. Remember, whatever you put in here is going to be the message. Type it exactly as they have there to make sure you get the points for it. Finish off with the quotation marks and then hit enter. It worked because there's no error message and I'm at 40%. All right, the next step is C, encrypt all plain text passwords. This is so that when somebody shows the configuration, they can't see all your passwords. It's a very important cybersecurity step. So we need to enter the command service password dash encryption. Service password dash encryption. That gets us to 50%. And then for the passwords, we need to type enable password. And then they want us to use the password Cisco. And we're at 60%. And then for the next step, we want to enable an encrypted password. So we want to type enable secret. And then it's a secret. That's the password they want us to use. Hit enter, and we're at 70%. And then we want to have a console password. So to do that, we type linecon0, that's the console, and our prompt is going to change. So hit enter, and you see that now we're in a line configuration mode. And now to set the password for that, type password, and then the one they want us to use is let me in. Hit enter. We're at 80%. And then don't forget this, we want to type in the command login because we want it to require that password to log in. So type login, and we're at 90% already. Okay, let's move on. Step 2, verify the initial settings on router 1. So step A here says, asks us which command do we use to do that. And the command is show running -config. We want to get out of this mode, so we want to type exit. And we still don't want to be in config mode, so type exit again. Hit enter when things get a little messy like that. There's some chatter on the line. And we're back at R1 with the hashtag symbol. And we want to use the command show running -config. He says, exit the current console session until you see the following message. So let's hit the space bar. And we want to exit out until we get to this type of screen here where it says, press return to get started. Then it says press enter and you should see these things if you configured it correctly. Let's see what happens when we press return. It says unauthorized access is strictly prohibited. That was our message of the day. User access verification, and we need to enter a password. So we need to type the password, let me in. And it's not showing anything I typed, but it's still recording my keystroke. So hit enter to see if you got it. And I typed it correctly, let me in, got me in. So we want to answer a couple questions here. Why should every router have a message of the day banner? And it's just to warn the unauthorized users that they shouldn't be trying to get into the router. It could also be used to send messages to the network personnel, things about maybe, there's a shutdown coming up or who they can contact if they want access. But the message of the day is an important step. And if you are not prompted for a password before reaching the user exempt prompt, that means you forgot to type that login command at the end of your configuration. All right, part D, enter the passwords necessary to return to privileged exec mode. And then it's got a couple questions for us. So let's proceed. We want to get to privileged exec mode, so type enable. What is the password required there? I believe it's a secret. I'm typing it, but you can't tell. And it liked it. So here I am in privileged exec mode. And then the question for D is, why would the enable secret password allow access to the privileged exec mode and the enabled password no longer be valid? And here's the reason. The enable secret password overrode the enable password. If both of them are configured on the router, you have to enter the secret one in order to get into the privileged exec mode. So we did one command and then we outdid it with the next one. If you configure any more passwords on the router, are they displayed in the configuration file as plain text or in encrypted form? And that command we used, service password -encryption, it encrypts all the current and future passwords. So someone who's looking at the configuration will not be able to tell what the passwords are. All right, let's move on to part 3. Save the running configuration file. So we want to save all this information. We set it up, but it's just not actually saved to the NVRAM yet. So we want to back up that running configuration file to NVRAM to ensure that the changes made are not lost if the system is rebooted or loses power. So what command do we use to do that? That command is copy running-config startup-config. Here's what it looks like. Basically, it's saying we're copying the running configuration to the startup configuration. Hit enter, and it asks us a question here, and we want to it's asking for the destination file name, and that is fine, the startup config file, so hit enter again. It's building the configuration, and it seems to say that everything is now okay. What is the shortest way that we could type that command? Because that's kind of lengthy, right? So the shortest way we could type it is this. I'll put it in here. COP space R space ST. We'll do it again. And there it is. So if you don't like to type, there's a shortcut. Step 2, optional, save the startup configuration file to flash. Although you will be learning more about managing the flash storage in a router in later chapters, you may be interested to know that as an added backup procedure, you can save your startup configuration file to flash. By default, the router still loads the startup configuration from NVRAM, but if NVRAM becomes corrupt, You can restore the startup configuration by copying it over from Flash. Complete the following steps to save the startup configuration to Flash. By the way, we're at 100% here, so all of the rest of this is bonus. We got to 100% when we saved the running configuration. All right, so we can examine the contents of Flash by using the show Flash command. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Show Flash. It says how many files are currently stored in Flash, and you can see that there are 3 of them. They're listed right there. Which of these files would you guess is the iOS image? And I'm thinking it's probably this one, this number 3 file right there. Why do you think? It might be it's got a longer file length compared to the others. It's got this .bin at the end. That's probably a good sign. The next thing it says here is save the startup configuration file to Flash is right here. So we type copy startup-config space Flash. So now we're copying it to Flash. It's going to ask for our destination again. Hit enter, and it says that it was copied. Use the show Flash command to verify the startup configuration file is now stored in Flash. And look at file number 4 here, startup config. It's saved to Flash. All right, we're done with this lab. We'll see you in the next one.